The night was silent after the explosion at the old railway station. Ateş stood beside Eylül, staring at the photograph of the two babies. His hands were trembling. "What does this mean?" he asked. Eylül's father remained silent for several seconds before finally saying, "It means our families knew about you two long before you ever met." Eylül looked at her father in disbelief. "Why did nobody tell us?" He answered, "Because there were people who wanted this connection to remain a secret." Ateş immediately asked, "What connection?" Her father looked at him. "You and Eylül were part of the same secret." Ateş became frustrated. "Enough with the secrets. I want the truth now." His mother stepped forward and said, "The night you were born, your biological father made a deal with Eylül's family. He believed that one day your lives would become connected." Eylül asked why. "Because he knew the organization would eventually come after both families." Ateş looked at the photograph again. "Then why were we separated?" His mother replied, "Because the organization discovered the agreement." Suddenly, Ateş's sister interrupted. "There is something else you need to know." Everyone turned toward her. "I remember the night we were separated." Ateş looked at her. "What happened?" She closed her eyes and began remembering. "There was a woman at the hospital. She was holding both of us. She told someone that the children must never grow up together." Eylül asked, "Who was the woman?" Ateş's sister looked at Eylül. "Your grandmother." Eylül froze. "My grandmother died before I was born." "She didn't." The revelation shocked everyone. Eylül's father immediately said, "Stop." But it was too late. Ateş's sister continued. "She was alive when we were children. She disappeared after the accident." Eylül couldn't believe it. "Then where is she now?" Nobody knew. Suddenly, Ateş received a message. "Stop searching for the past." He looked at the screen. Anat. Ateş stood outside the safe house, staring at the road where the black car had disappeared. Eylül came beside him and quietly said, "You still believe he betrayed us?" Ateş looked at her. "I don't know what to believe anymore." Eylül replied, "Then don't believe anyone. Find the truth yourself." Ateş nodded. "That's exactly what I'm going to do." Inside the black car, the mysterious man was sitting beside Ateş's biological father. The stolen document was between them. Ateş's biological father looked at it and said, "If Ateş gets this document, the organization will lose everything." The mysterious man replied, "That's why I took it." His father looked at him. "But Ateş thinks you betrayed him." The mysterious man smiled. "Sometimes the only way to protect someone is to make them hate you." Meanwhile, Eylül returned to the safe house and found her mother sitting alone. She asked, "Mom, what are you hiding from us?" Her mother looked at her with tears in her eyes. "Something I promised never to reveal." Eylül replied, "Those promises destroyed our family." Her mother finally said, "Your grandfather wasn't the only person behind the organization." Eylül froze. "What do you mean?" "There was another person." "Who?" Her mother took out an old photograph. "This person was the real decision-maker. Your grandfather only followed his instructions." Eylül looked at the photograph. Her face suddenly changed. "I know him." Her mother nodded. "You've seen him many times." Eylül whispered, "Where?" "Inside your own family." At that moment, Ateş entered the room. "What happened?" Eylül showed him the photograph. Ateş stared at it. The man in the photograph was someone they had trusted for years. Ateş whispered, "This can't be true." Eylül replied, "That's what I thought too." Suddenly, Ateş's phone rang. It was his sister. He answered immediately. "Where are you?" She whispered, "I'm safe." Ateş asked, "Who helped you escape?" There was silence. Then she. The night was almost over when Ateş and Eylül returned to the old family house. The message from the mysterious man was still open on Ateş's phone. "The final truth is beneath your childhood home." Eylül looked at the dark house. "Are you sure we should go inside?" Ateş replied, "After everything we have discovered, I'm sure of only one thing. We cannot stop now." They entered the house. Every room was silent. Ateş walked toward the old bedroom where he had spent his childhood. He remembered the hidden room his father had forbidden him to enter. Eylül noticed a strange mark beneath the carpet. "Ateş, look." They moved the carpet and discovered a small metal door in the floor. Ateş used the key they had found near the burning library. The door opened. A narrow staircase led underground. Eylül looked at him. "What if this is exactly what they wanted us to find?" Ateş replied, "Then we'll find out why." They went downstairs. At the bottom was a large underground room filled with old documents, photographs and locked cabinets. On the wall were pictures of Ateş and Eylül from different years of their childhood. Eylül stared at them. They were watching us. Ateş replied, not just watching, recording everything. Suddenly, Eylül noticed a photograph of herself as a child. Someone had written a date beneath it. The day I disappeared. Ateş looked at another photograph. It showed him on the same day. He whispered, we disappeared on the same night. Eylül turned toward him. Then why did they tell us different stories? Before Ateş could answer, an old recording suddenly started playing. A man's voice filled the room. If you have reached this room, then the separation plan has failed. Ateş recognized the voice. His biological father. The recording continued. Ateş and Eylül were separated because the organization believed that together they could expose the truth. Eylül asked, what truth? The voice answered, the organization was never. The woman stood across the road, watching Ateş and Eylül in complete silence. Neither of them moved. Eylül whispered, it's her. Ateş looked at her. Are you sure? Eylül nodded. I saw her in my mother's old photographs. She was supposed to have died 20 years ago. The woman slowly crossed the road and stopped in front of them. She looked at Ateş first, then at Eylül. You have grown up, she said quietly. Eylül's eyes filled with tears. Who are you? The woman replied, my name is Selin. I am your mother's sister. Eylül stepped forward. Everyone told me you were dead. Selin answered, because that was the only way I could stay alive. Ateş asked, where were you all these years? Selin looked toward the old bridge. Watching. Watching what? Watching the people who destroyed your families. Ateş immediately asked, do you know who caused the accident? Selin nodded. I know everything. Eylül became emotional. Then tell us. Selin took a deep breath. The accident was never meant to kill you. Ateş stared at her. What? It was designed to separate you. Eylül asked why. Selin replied, because your grandfather discovered that your parents were planning to expose the organization. Ateş asked, and what did my parents know? Selin looked at him. They discovered the existence of a secret account. What account? The account that contained all the money stolen by the organization over 20 years. Eylül asked, where is it? Selin smiled. That is the question everyone has been trying to answer. Ateş suddenly remembered the inheritance document. The money belongs to us. Selin nodded. Not exactly. She took out an old key. This key doesn't open a safe. Ateş asked, then what does it open? The original bank archive. Eylül looked confused. Why would a bank archive be hidden? Because the account was created under 3 different names. Ateş looked at Selin. Whose names?